It's the second installment of Rona Proofing Your House, where we are addressing the mask. So come on in, let's talk. Hello everybody, my name is Loto with Loto Ministries. I want to thank you all for joining me again for the second installment of Rona Proofing Your House. Before I continue, I want to say thank you to my dear sister in love, Nettie. Thank you, Nettie, for creating this mask. It's very beautiful. I hope all of you like it. In fact, if you do like it so much that you'd want one of your own, I got some good news. We can make that happen. In fact, in making that happen, you'll also be supporting the ministry. So if you're interested in having one of these of your own, go ahead and leave it in the comment, let me know, or you can email me at loto@lotoministries.com. These masks will also, or should also, be available on the website pretty soon at lotoministries.com. All right, let's get into the message today. Last installment, or the last video, I talked to you about self-quarantining yourself, right? And getting to a place where, man, you really seek out God and ask God to come in and to search your heart, to search your life, and to help us to get rid of all those Ronas. Well, what do we do now? We don't want to just have a bunch of empty room, so we put something on. That's why I have this mask on. You know, this mask has become such a controversial thing, but today I think it's a perfect symbol or a perfect tool to use on what we're going to talk about today. Matter of fact, let's get into our chapter for the series, Colossians chapter 3. I asked Matai to help us again with some verses. So he's going to read verse 12, where we are going to be talking about putting the mask on. Matai?
Therefore, as God's chosen people, holy and dearly loved, clothe yourselves with compassion, kindness, humility, gentleness, and patience.
Matai, can you go back, please? Because there's something I want to put in the beginning of this verse.
Therefore, as God's chosen people.
Pause right there. Therefore, as God's chosen people. Everybody say chosen. Matter of fact, go ahead and write it in the comments. Chosen. Do you understand that you are chosen? Do you understand that God has picked you? There was something I was watching the other day, and it just really hit me like, man, you know, it really grabbed a hold of my heart. And that's this, that God chose us before he even changed us. I don't know about you, but that really, really hits me hard, because I know who I was. I know how God found me. I know where I was at. And yet he still chose me before God even cleaned me up. Before God gave me a new name, before God gave me a new life, before God tweaked me even just a little bit, he already chose me. I don't care where you are at life. You might be fired up for God, or you might be as cold as ice. And you might think that you're the furthest things from God right now. You might feel like you're at the bottom of the barrel. You might feel like you're under the barrel. But I want you to know right now that no matter where you're at, God chose you today. And God is just waiting for you to choose him. That God loves you today. And he just can't wait till you love him back. But God is so awesome that he gave you that choice. So my prayer is that today you choose God today, and that you choose to love him back. Let's go on with the message. Let's go on with today's installment of the Rona Proofing Your House. But Ty, go ahead and keep reading, please. Continue from where you left.
Holy and dearly loved, clothe yourself with compassion, kindness, humility, gentleness, and patience.
Right here, God talks about 5 masks that he tells us to clothe ourselves with, or to put on. 5 masks that he wants us to wear so that we don't go catching any more Ronas. But it's so awesome, because it's not just so much about what we're going to catch by wearing these masks, but it has more to do with other people are going to catch by us wearing these masks. So let's go ahead and just walk through these different types of masks that God wants us to walk through, Matai. What was the first thing?
Compassion.
Compassion. Beloved, do you have compassion? What is compassion? Compassion, you know, in another verse it talks about, man, you know, to show tender mercies from your heart of hearts, right? And there's just something in you that just stirs you up when you see certain people going through a certain kind of suffering. You know, the way that I describe compassion is just broken down in 2 words. It's committed passion. You see, it's a passion that you have for a certain group of people. Like there's those of you have a certain compassion for people that other people don't have. Others of you have a certain compassion for a group of people that others don't share with you. It's just that certain thing that it connects or it just resonates with you, right? Some of you have compassion for the homeless. Some of you have compassion for teenagers. Some of you have compassion for addicts. For whatever reason it was, maybe you had an experience with that. Maybe your testimony is and that you used to be an addict and God delivered you from it, so you want to help others. Or some of you had an alcoholic parent, and so man, you understand the dangers of alcohol, so you joined the fight, against substance abuse. There's this connection and you have this passion that's committed to a certain group. In fact, I want to point something out to you that a lot of you might be wondering, like, what should I choose as a career? Or how can I find out what my calling is, from God? A lot of us, we have those questions, right? We've all asked that one time or another. Well, you can identify calling or career or what career you should go and pursue by what your compassion is. If you identify your passion, that will help you really chase and pursue the right career. Because man, when you're compassionate about those things, again, like they say, if you go to work to do what you love to do, you'll never work a day in your life. Because again, your compassion. And when you start fulfilling that compassion and you start serving the people that you're compassionate towards, you just get this joy that you can't put a price on. So be compassionate. And I want to challenge you right now. Who are you? Let's think about those people. Who are you compassionate about? Is it the elderly? Or senior citizen folks? Is it a certain language? That people, certain group of people, whether it comes to ethnic groups or let's start identifying that. That way we can get closer to where God wants us to be. Because I'm telling you right now, when you start wearing that mask, you're gonna start attracting the people that you should be attracting. But here's the thing: when you're not being faithful with your compassion, you're actually becoming irresponsible. Because God gave you a compassion for a reason. He gave you a heart for that certain group of people. And beloved, if you don't reach them, who will? Let's take up the responsibility and put the mask on of compassion. What was the second one, Ty? Kindness. Man, our world needs more kindness, doesn't it? Be kind. Now here's the cool thing, because when you think about compassion, it's like, wait a minute, also isn't that being kind? Sort of, kind of, not really. Here's the difference between being kind and having compassion. Remember, compassion, that the way I break it down to two words is it's committed passion, right? It's that connected passion that you have with somebody. There's a familiarity. There's something that resonates with you and that person or that group of people. But being kind, there is no connection. You're just kind because that's your nature. You're just doing it out of the kindness of your heart. You don't need to have anything in common with somebody. You're just being kind. I love, what a lot of people do, especially nowadays, with everything we're going through, and it's paying it forward, right? I saw a post from a dear friend of mine. She's parked behind, she's waiting in the drive-thru at Starbucks. And there's the lady that's at the window keeps looking back at her, and my friend, she's getting irritated. It's like, man, these people are talking about me, and wonder what she's saying. Man, she better be thankful I'm not next to her and all that. And so the lady pulls away. She gets her drink. She pulls out. My friend drives up to the window to find out that lady had paid her for her coffee, paid it forward. She didn't need to know, my friend. She didn't know what my friend did for a career. She didn't need to know anything about my friend. She just did it because she was being kind. We need more kindness in this world. There's so much turmoil, so much debating, so much disagreement going on. Man, we just need to be kind. Is that the mask that you're wearing? Or do you need help wearing that mask or keeping that mask on? Well, that's what these messages is about. It's for us to help each other, because there's times where I don't want to wear the kind mask, and I don't want to wear the compassionate mask. I want to wear the, hey, man, I've done a lot of stuff already. I've put in a lot of work, and I deserve to just be by myself and to be selfish. But no, that never pays off, because once you start going down that road, it's just like sin. It'll take you farther than you wanted to go, stay longer than you wanted to stay, and pay a whole lot more than you wanted to pay. Be kind. Be kind. What's the next mask, Matai?
Humility.
Humility. Oh my gosh, this is one of my favorite masks, right? Because, like I said, I know who I was when God found me. Man, I'm telling you right now, a lot of people say, oh, I love you, but I believe you me. If you knew me like God knew me back then, you wouldn't be able to love me. I was a terrible person. And so I thank God for humility, because it keeps me grounded. Now, humility, what is humility? Well, a lot of you might think, just like kind and compassion, right? Aren't those the same thing? Isn't humility just being humble? Aren't those the same thing? Yeah, sort of, kind of, not really. Here's the difference between being humble and having humility, right? And there's a couple ways to explain it. Being humble is what you do when you know that you're wrong. When you know that you were wrong. That's what you do. You humble yourself, right? And you ask for forgiveness, or you make things right. Humility is what you put on when you know that you were right. Humility is what you put on even when you know the other person was wrong. Humbleness is humbling yourself, because, man, you know you're not worthy. You know you're not worthy. But having humility is understanding, you know what? I do have a right to that chair, but I want to bless somebody else. And it's taking that chair and offering it to somebody else. That's humility. To take it a little step further, right? Having humility is having authority and having power and not using it, not needing to use it, not having to use it. You see, you can go ahead and you can walk around holding your head up and I'm this and I'm that, and you've earned it. You've definitely earned it. But it's lowering yourself and understanding that there's a greater being, a greater person out there than you. That you understand where you stand before God. That God is the Almighty, and all we are is a creation by the Creator. That's all we are. So we practice humility. We had the right to go ahead and pull card and pull rank on people, but we don't do it because, again, we have humility. Whenever we get into a car, for those of you that don't know, but I'm blind, so usually, the politically correct thing to do is offer the blind guy the front seat, right? Offer the blind guy, especially the old guy now, because I'm like years old, right? So it's like offer the, have lots in the front, but nope, I'll go and climb in the back seat. Is that because I'm scared of the front windshield? I'm afraid of what I'm going to see? No, that's because I'm practicing humility. And besides, I got my eyes on a different throne. And that's in the higher place. Practice humility. And what was the fourth one? Gentleness? Don't we need more gentleness also? Gentleness, in this world. We're so brash, right? We're so just quick to get angry. We're so quick to just start tripping. We're so quick to just fight back because everybody's fighting. Everybody's arguing. But if we just had somebody put on the mask of gentleness, right? You know what that does? It changes the atmosphere. It changes the tone. It changes the temperature in the room when somebody puts on gentleness. Because it's so sad, man. All of these things, compassion, kind, humility, and gentleness is just like common sense. You know what the problem with common sense is? It ain't so common anymore. And gentleness is not so common anymore. That's why it's such an awesome time right now to put on the mask of gentleness. Because once you put it on, people are going to be attracted to that. What is that? When you have a gentle answer, even to those who are the most brash towards you, even to those who just treat you like trash and they come against you and they're so angry towards you, and you turn to them and you give them a gentle answer, man, the Bible says it. A gentle answer turns away wrath. It's amazing how enemies become friends because one of those two puts on the gentle mask. Be compassionate. Be kind. Have humility. And be gentle. The lasting time.
Patience.
Patience. Woo! Speaking of the things that this world needs more is patience, right? It's patience. Now I'm pretty sure that we all know what patience is. It's holding that tongue of yours where you just want to unleash it on somebody and give somebody a good tongue lashing, right? It's keeping that fist in your pocket when all you want to do is just let those hands go and get to work, right? Being patient. Being patient. Here's a neat thing. Do you know that you're a patient? I'm a patient. And do you know that when it comes to being patient, it has nothing to do with the people that we're being patient towards? It has nothing to do with them so much as it has to do with us. Because again, I'm the patient and you're the patient and we're the one that's on the surgery table. And God again is just like I said in the last video, is in our hearts and he's checking and he's poking around to see where we're hurting at and to see where we're the weakest at and to see where the aches are so he can strengthen that. So yes, God will allow situations. Yes, God will allow people to come into our path to test our patience or to test our faith or to test our heart. Not so he can just sit there and laugh at us while we fail, but to strengthen it so we can ace the test and move on to the next level. Imagine if you're a patient on that surgery table and the surgeon is performing the surgery and then you just sit up, nah, never mind, I don't really need the transplant after all. You're not going to make it out the door. You need to stay on the bed and be patient. When everything in you is screaming, man, lash out back at them, man. They want to treat you like a punk, then you let them know who you are. When everything's just screaming, for you to just go ahead and take things in your own hands, nope. You lay there and you be still and know that he is God. When you feel like, man, I gotta feed my family, man. I've tried being good, man. And some of you, man, hey, I get it. Some of you are like, man, it's boring being good. So you just want one bad day. You just want one bad moment. But man, it's not gonna be just a bad moment. It's not just gonna be a bad day. Because look at how many times you're messing up by just having your own moment. And you lost your patience. So it has more to do with you when it comes to us being patient towards us. It's not so much the others, it's us that God is working on. But here's the beautiful thing. Remember what I said earlier. When it comes to the mask, it's not just about us wearing the mask and it's doing us good. But when we wear these masks, it does everybody good. Because something happens when people see compassion from you. Something happens when you be kind to somebody. Something happens when people see that man, oh, you could have done this and that, but nope, you had humility and you humbled yourself and you kept on walking. And something happens when people see that, man, that gentleness that is so rare nowadays. And people, and something happens when people see that you're patient. You know what happens? It becomes contagious. And it becomes more contagious than the Rona. Next thing you know, man, that when you're wearing this mask, everybody's looking at that mask, and then everybody starts catching that fever. They start catching that compassion. They start catching that kindness, catching the humility, catching the gentleness, catching the patience. And now you've got people surrounding you that's wearing the same mask that you're wearing. And what a beautiful world when you fill this world up with people that are compassionate, people that are kind, people that have humility, people that are gentle, and people that are patient. But here's the thing, beloved. Matai, can you read verse 14?
And over all these virtues, put on love, which binds them all together in perfect unity.
Here's the thing, folks. When you try to have compassion, kindness, humility, and gentleness and patience without the author of these things, without the creator of these things, without the only one that can help you do these things, you know what you're doing? You're trying to wear this mask, and you're putting it on. Eventually it falls off. You put it on, and at the first sign of storm, it falls off. You put it on, And at the first sight of any kind of challenge and any kind of resistance, it falls off. Why does it fall off, Matai? Why does it keep falling off, beloved? Ty, why does this mask keep falling off?
It's not connected. It's not put on.
Because it's not put on. It's not bound on. But Ty, read that verse again.
And over all these virtues put on love, which binds them all together in perfect unity.
None of this stuff works. None of these masks will stay on unless you have the bound of love that binds the mask on your heart. That's the only way compassion stays on you. The only way kindness, humility, gentleness, and patience stays on you. Now let's go to our final chapter, and that's 1 Corinthians chapter 13. We're going to land the plane here, folks. But Ty, can you read verses 1 through 3 first?
If I speak in the tongues of men or of angels, but do not have love, I am only a resounding gong or a clanging cymbal. If I have the gift of prophecy and can fathom all mysteries and all knowledge, and if I have faith that can move mountains, but do not have love, I am nothing. If I give all I possess to the poor and give over my body to hardship that I may boast, but do not have love, I gain nothing.
You see, beloved, all these things right here is talking about, man, if I had compassion, I can have gentleness, I have kindness, humility, and patience. I can all these things, but if I don't have love, then I've got nothing. Remember, I talked to you about having compassion, and if you don't, then you're being irresponsible with what God has given you. If you don't put any of these masks on, you're being irresponsible. And one day, you're going to have to give account. You're going to have to answer to God on why you didn't put these masks on. And the thing is, you can try to put it on, but if you don't have love, it's not going to stick. It's not going to stay on. It's not going to work. You're just going to be an empty can being kicked over and over again. Just a symbol. All you are going to be is just a bunch of noise. So when you put the mask on, make sure that it's bound in love. Go on, Matai, read the rest, 4 through 7.
Love is patient. Love is kind. It does not envy. It does not boast. It is not proud. It does not dishonor others. It is not self-seeking. It is not easily angered. It keeps no record of wrongs. Love does not delight in evil, but rejoices with the truth. It always protects, always trusts, always hopes, always perseveres.
It always perseveres. Love never fails, folks. People, if you're gonna wear these masks, you're gonna have to have the bound of love, and there's only one person that can do that for you, and it's love himself. 1 John chapter 4 says that God is love. If you don't have God in your life, if you don't have Jesus in your life, then this is not going to work for you. It'll only be temporary because it'll keep falling off. You'll try to be kind and it'll fall off. You try to be patient and it'll fall off, and you'll never bear the fruits. You'll never see other people wearing masks. You'll never see your loved ones being gentle. You'll never see your loved ones being compassionate or kind or have humility and all that. Why? Because if you don't have love, then you're wasting the mask. If you really want this thing to stick, you need to have Jesus in your life. You need to call upon God and ask Him to show you and teach you how to wear the mask. You can do that right now. You can call on Jesus right now and make sure that you have the right bound to bound this onto your heart. Beloved, I hope you guys join us for the third installment of Rona Proofing Your House, where I'll be talking about this affecting every room. Remember, if you guys like these masks, you want one of your own, leave in the comments, email me, or it should be available very soon on the lotoministry.com website. Love you all. Lord bless.